Wagwan, welcome back to Andre Cooks, hosted by me, Chef Andre. Now, if you haven't already, I'm going to ask you to like and share this video, subscribe to the channel and turn on post notification. That way you're in the loop all the time. You won't miss out on what we have going on, all right? Recently, I went to a restaurant and I had teriyaki chicken and it was really good. It was really good, but I have this habit where I try to one-up the things that I go on the road and buy and enjoy. And that's exactly what I'm going to try to do here today. I think I have it down. So I'm going to show you guys how to do it. And you learn how to enjoy really good and pretty authentic teriyaki chicken. Really easy. Now, here's where we're going to start. Teriyaki is, at the end of the day, what teriyaki, the major thing is the sauce. And it's a soy sauce based sauce. The flavors in there are ginger. The primary flavors are ginger, tubes of garlic, and a slight amount of sweetness to it. Teriyaki should not be too sweet, all right? All right, so here's where we're going to start. In the initial episode, I told you that I love prep, right? I like to, whenever we get to the stove to cook, we're just cooking. That's it. We're not slicing up anything. We're not grating, anything of the sort. Right. So I'm going to start by taking a ginger, about a 1-inch piece of ginger. You can mince it if you want, but I much rather grating it. That way it's finer and you don't end up biting it. I'm just gonna go ahead and grate it in a bowl like so.
A few moments later.
Paste. I'm going to do the same to some garlic. Now, again, I'm using about 3 or 4 cloves here. If you want it to be more garlicky or more ginger flavor, you can do that. Now, as much as possible, I try to use fresh produce. Right? I'm sure if you spend time on social media, you'll see a campaign called Say Yes to Fresh that, a lot of my posts now will include that hashtag because the initiative of supporting local farmers and buying fresh produce is something that is really near and dear to my heart. So fresh vegetables, we're using fresh seasonings. We do have a bit of powder here, but we're just going to use a tiny bit of it. As best as possible, use fresh produce. It really does make a difference in terms of flavor. All right, to that, soy sauce. It's a good idea to use low sodium soy sauce. That way you can actually control the amount of salt that gets in the food. We have some rice vinegar here because we want a bit of tartness to the dish. I'm gonna go ahead and do that. All right, so I'm finally done grate all the ginger, all the garlic. Took me a little while, but if you want good, you know that from. That's what the Jamaican them say. Anybody who knows what that means, just comment below and let me know, cause yeah. Now, teriyaki it's not supposed to be a sweet sauce, but it's supposed to have some sweetness to it. What we're looking for is a nice balance of flavors here. We have some tartness from the rice vinegar, we have some savory from the soy sauce. We need some sweetness in here, otherwise this is just going to be, Outside of the sweetness, the other purpose that the sugar serves is that as soon as the sauce reduces, it will thicken up because of that sugar and become like a glaze. So you get a nice coating over the chicken and you get to do all of that nice little drizzle and I brought a young lady with me on this trip to the restaurant, and so because I'm going to invite her back over, I have to have some little drizzle and little one of them kind of thing there. Moving right along. So this is pretty much done here. Use white sugar if you want, but I prefer to use brown sugar flavor. So I'm going to set this off to the side here. Coming with our chicken breasts. You can use thighs if you want, but for this, I'm using breast. This is really simple. We're going to go in with some salt. And them say how Jamaicans cook. You season and make your ancestors tell them to stop. So that made it right now. Boom. A little bit of pepper. Yeah. We're gonna go with some garlic powder. The reason I don't use like actual garlic and ginger here, those things can burn. And when they burn, the flavor that they impart is not so nice. So I use the powders and use the actual fresh stuff in the sauces. I wouldn't use the powders in the sauce because the flavors that you'll get from that are, I hate it. I really do hate it. All right. So first side done. Flip it. And this, you can let this go for, if you do 2 hours, if you season this 2 hours in advance, it should be fine because it's boneless. I typically like doing these things overnight. Boom. So we're gonna set this aside. I'm gonna take out the batch that I already seasoned. Now, we're pretty much finished here. I'm just going to clear the area. We're going to head over to the stove. We have some vegetables over here. Again, say yes to fresh, so we're using all fresh produce here. Going over to the stove, we're going to grill these and we're going to sear these off and then cook them down in this sauce. So let's move over to the stove. So I'm actually going to take this off now. I'm going to preheat my frying pan. I'm going to preheat over medium-high heat. What I'm looking to do here is sear the chicken. And all that is I'm going to add a little bit of oil to the pan and I'm going to brown the chicken on both sides. That's going to add texture, that's going to add flavor, periodically. That's all we're looking for. This has flavor going all the way through. And of course, we're using CB chicken here, which is always hormone-free, as you know. But one thing you might not know is that this holds the seasoning really well, exceptionally well, right? Well done. This is beautifully done to me. 3 to 4 minutes just now. Add the sauce to the pan. It started to thicken already. It's a good time to add the chicken. That may I talk about. I'm seeing it in my mind right now, and it's just so vibrant. Right? So our sauce is definitely thickening up. Our chicken is getting glazed, and this is also cooking the chicken as it's glazing. All right, so this is ready. I'm gonna pull it off the plate here. I'm going to let it rest for a few minutes, as I mentioned, because you don't want to cut into it and it dries out. In the meantime, I'm going to start setting up my dish with the other elements. All right, now we're finished cooking and it's time for the part that excites me, the plating up. I went ahead and shared out some of the white rice, as I told you I did. So I have a mound over here. It's a little flat over this side. I want some scallions on there, so I'm going to slice them on the bias like so. Yeah. And I'm going to take up a piece of our chicken and get into slicing. Yeah. Slide the knife under here and just kind of shingle it a bit. Yeah. That way you see the sear and you see the inside. So everybody wants to look at this and know, say, yeah, tender and juicy. Move this out the way and get some of our veg. So I'm gonna start with some tomatoes there and put another piece like so. This is bok choy. You're getting the sweetness from the vegetables and you're also getting a little bit of char flavor. You don't have to plate it up exactly the way I do. This is just a recommendation, but can't complain about that, right? And I have some sesame seeds that we're gonna go like that. And woo! Get that man. Top it with some more of this. Top it with some more sesame. Get these out the way. Boom! Chicken teriyaki bowl. Done and ready. Nice bit of colors. The flavors are nice and vibrant. We have balance of flavors here, balance of texture. Talk to me in the comments. Let me know what you think. Go ahead and try it. Give us your feedback. I'd love to hear from you. You can find me on Instagram at andre.cooks. Let me know what you think. If you don't want to talk to me over there, you can talk to CB Foods at I Love CB Foods. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel, like and share it with your family and your friends and everybody hit the notification bell. That way you know what's coming whenever it is coming. And yeah, thank you for joining me on my cooking show, Andre Cooks. I'm gonna leave this here for you guys to just, I'm gonna eat. Take care.